welcome to the Wildly Healthy Podcast, your go-to for shaking things up and living an out-of-the-box life. I'm Jennings Waterhouse, a mompreneur, project addict, and recovering type A perfectionist, and lover of all things creative. I'm here with Dr. Gloria Waterhouse, otherwise known as Mamaji, a clinical psychologist and integrative mental health warrior who is committed to helping others achieve deep transformations. Let's release the struggle, flip aging on its head, smash some cultural norms, and say see ya to perfectionism and overwhelm. Join us if you're serious about kicking ass and thriving. Say goodbye to your inner Martha Stewart and hell's yes to a little more leather, fringe, and spice. Hit that subscribe button and buckle up for a wildly healthy ride. Hey, Mama G. I'm so
Good
excited
morning,
that we're
Bobby.
here today.
Me too. Me too.
Today, we're going to be talking about creator versus victim mode. One of, I know, my favorite topics. And you're going to have so many great tips for us, I know. For all of our friends out there that are working so hard to change their reality, change their life, transform, improve things, this is a big discussion we have.
Huge. Huge. This is a great topic. I love this topic, and there's so many different levels of what we can talk about when we're talking about victim versus creator. And it's really something that we're all dealing with. You know, that topic may not come to mind consciously, but it's a mindset that most people vacillate back and forth from.
And I know for me, as I was thinking about this, even just this morning, trying to get on this podcast, load the kids up, make their lunch, get them dressed, have all the, soccer stuff and then basketball stuff. And, somebody forgot their water bottle and, crap, it takes me a half an hour just to blow dry my hair and how, and I was getting a little irritated, just trying to make it to the car. Right. And then I think, okay, here we are. We're going to do a podcast about creator versus victim. And
Well, obviously, the circumstances are beyond your control. You're a victim of circumstances. It's not your fault.
no, it's those little turds' fault.
It's those damn boys. Exactly. Or maybe it's Bridger's fault. Bridger left so early this morning and left you with all of this to deal with. Mama G gets on this Zoom with you, and then she's like a technological mess. And, we're in different worlds recording this. And for some reason, you're always the person who has to pick up for everybody else, I think, Jennings. And that's maybe a major worldview that you have, mindset.
Maybe. Well, it's probably because I can.
Because you can?
Yeah. Just because I have everything like so perfectly together that why can't I just do it for everybody?
You're right.
Right?
Right. Yes.
So
well,
we get into this place maybe on a daily basis or a momentary basis where we start playing the blame game. We start, looking at all of the flaws that are going on around us and who we can, get irritated with. And it really takes us out of that place of inspiration. It takes us out of the creative place. It sucks all the energy that we have basically to actually do the things that we want to create. And then, I mean, that's just like the momentary problems of being a victim. Then we have the actual like life, big picture things. So can you tell us, Mama G, what happens in this place of like, I mean, is there another word that we could call it besides victim mode?
well, I think I think that's a pretty accurate term for it. I mean, it encompasses a lot, but in our culture, historically, whatever, um, to a certain extent, we always feel like we are maybe a bit of a martyr, or gosh, there's a big draw to being a victim because then nothing's your fault, right? And you don't have to change anything. You don't have to get your energy up. It's just like, damn. You would feel like this too if you had to deal with these people I live with, right?
Yeah. You had to deal with them. You would feel like this too.
Well, first of all, you know that I wouldn't be able to do it and get on this because my mind and doesn't work that way. Thank God for you. And I gave you that misperception that was also very empowering, which was you can do anything. You can do anything. And so you've always done everything. But as you talked about the different levels of victim consciousness, and I think we can go back to our families of origin, and we can say, what did we feel about our lineage? What was the pervasive mood, theme, mindset? And I know that there were a lot of things that, allowed me to feel like a victim much of my life and to feel like fun and adventure and being present, that was all for other people. No, we don't have time to blow dry our hair and put on a nice yoga outfit and go to a class because we were at basis, you and I would laugh at each other all the time and say, we're Croatian washerwomen. Now, why did we choose that when we could have created a different reality? And doggone it, it's taken me a lifetime, and you have a lifetime to get past this. And yet, in the big mindset, we're past it, but we keep acting out the behaviors as if we were, right?
Yeah, I think you're aware of this on a big level. I
Yeah.
know for myself, and I know for you, and I know for everybody that we work with, that we are all incredibly talented. We all have these special gifts. There's, a world of possibility, and you can really see that for other people. And then you see us go into these patterns and get stuck on things, where if you took a step back and you looked at it from the outside, or that Google perspective, the 30-foot level or whatever, you would say, you don't have to do it this way. Why are you making this so hard? I think about for myself, we built this off the grid house, right? It was just supposed to be this weekend cabin. We were going to go snowmobiling. There was all this wilderness. And we had two other houses that were like in town. But for some reason,
Two different towns, I might point out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were actual.
All of these are in different places. These are three different towns, that cabin, the pristine cabin.
Right. And we built it at a time where I was 10 months pregnant with Drake. And we decided that we were going to build this thing because we had to for some reason. And then we decided we were going to live there, but there wasn't running water. There wasn't, I was doing the dishes in the bathtub, which, I can do. I can do this, Mamaji. But why? Why?
But you
We're trying to run a business.
pregnant. And now I'm remembering you and Bridger were camping out under the subfloor of this in thermal sleeping bags, and you were pregnant.
Yeah, I was 9 months pregnant, about to give birth, and we were camping out in November, building a house, but then we lived there, and I was trying to act like a normal person, right? Like I was trying to run a yoga studio. We had our Airbnbs. We're flipping houses. We had all this stuff. And I just remember having all of this piles of stuff in my car because I actually was living out of the car because it was so long to drive up there and so much work. And I think, why did I make things so hard for myself? And
Why did
those
you?
were great memories. Because there's something that we like about being in the struggle. And when I say we, I don't think it's just me. I think it's a lot of people. We really get some satisfaction out of maybe being tough, or we get some benefit from torturing ourselves in some way.
Really, really good perspective, because why would we do this when we have a choice to create a different reality? But you can't create a different reality with the mindset that you're a Croatian washerwoman with the aching back and the 3,000 tons of laundry climbing up those, stone steps for whatever. And yet, working with teams of people, it's just we've become so conscious of it that, we aren't, we can see a vision for other people. We can see their gifts. We're so excited to hear from them. And then you ask them how they're doing, and you just want to bite nails because they're talking about, oh, this and that, and this is preventing them, and that's preventing them. And we just, because we're so aware of it, we just want to say, get out of your own way and just be your brilliant self and get in the energy of creation. And I think that's really important. There's a whole different energy, a whole different vibration to seeing yourself as creator. And we could go back to some neuropsychology and we could talk about the primitive parts of our brain, the first ones that are developed, and that was our reticular activating system was one. So that was part of our brains that was so important when we were cavemen and we were looking for danger out there. So we got this sophisticated system to make us hypervigilant for danger and protecting ourselves. And so that carries on, even though we're so sophisticated now and so aware and enlightened. Because whatever you're thinking about, whatever framework, whatever web you're looking through, you're going to see what you're looking for, right? It will manifest.
Definitely.
Was that a clear enough way to describe what's going on?
Well, I think we've been trained, like you said, your reticular activating system is something that keeps you safe and it keeps you on track, and we're guided by it, but at the same time we have the power to program it to see differently and to and if you're not consciously working on that, it's going to be seeing over and over again and expanding on what it's been programmed to see.
Now, just as an example, when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, are you thinking, oh man, I am so grateful for my life. This feels so good. I love my bed. I love my partner. I'm excited to get up and see my boys. I'll go back to sleep. No. Universally, we wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning with the idea that there are mountain lions in our bedroom and there are vast crevices that we could drop into. I mean, it's terrifying, right?
It's
And
horrible. It's horrible.
I think everyone, as a society, we're struggling with that. I'm shifting that a bit. I'm shifted that quite a bit because I wake up and I just have a mantra and I say, I'm so grateful for everything. Everything's working out great. Now, you cannot add your to-do list and merge that with the sense that everything's okay, right? Because that to-do list, oh my God, those things that are so huge, when you actually wake up and you're had your coffee and whatever, you're thinking, that took me 5 minutes. Why did that keep me up for an hour or two, right?
Or three. Yeah, something about being in the middle of the night, everything just really becomes larger than life. The to-do list becomes like this emergency state that the world is coming to an end. They might as well just send in like the all the troops and everything because there's going to be some horrible explosion and something's bad's going to happen. And when you wake up, you have this panicky feeling, which I hate. And I feel like that's the same state that I experience when I'm in victim mode. I am feeling this internal panic, anxiety, irritation, and you get you get spun out on it.
It affects everything, doesn't it? I mean, it affects everything. And I wonder if this morning, if you'd gotten up and you just had the luxury or somehow looking at those little boys and just being amazed at what gorgeous creatures they are and whatever. But no, we're looking at the state of our car and we're going, there are too many wrappers on the floor. I've got a yoga mat, yoga towels from hot yoga. They
Some
stink.
disgusting soccer cleats. Not good.
Or somebody's lunch.
Yeah,
Or
all that.
something I took home from a restaurant, forgot to bring in. And in 100-degree weather like we had yesterday, it's really odoriferous. So, and then it's not just the car. It's not like, I looked at my car this morning and I thought, my world is a mess because my car is a mess. Then I stopped myself and I said, how long would it take to clean out this car? 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then I would have some order and everything would be all right with my world. But we're constantly judging ourselves and measuring how we're not perfect enough, the flaws. Does anybody know what your car is like if you didn't talk about it all the time, Jennings?
I wish we could measure the amount of time or energy that we spend beating up on ourselves and being in this, state of debate that goes on in your head, and how much time you would save if you just didn't do that. I wish there was can't they measure that by now, in some
Well, I think that
way?
there are measurements of that. Yeah, because we're measuring our vibration. And you can see that much of the time we're not in creator mode. And I'll tell you, when I feel like I'm in creator mode and I remind myself that if I shift my mindset and I see myself as creator, I can really affect powerful things. But you know what happens? Then I get on the phone with my daughter and she goes, Mamaji, you sound sensitive today. Mamaji, your voice is a little hoarse. Or I might say, darling, are you down? And then we've got all these other people who really don't want us to change, so they're commenting, oh, I've observed this. You must be trying to do that kind of thing. And then we just.
Oh, Gloria, I saw that you got a new haircut.
Yes. Yes, I did. I changed my part yesterday.
But we have these people that, are almost judging us just as harshly as we are judging
Well,
us.
and I think that's an important thing about change is we don't have to pay attention. We don't have to bring that into our field. So what if you say, Mama G, you sound sensitive today? I don't have to respond to that and whatever. I just stay where I am, but we constantly are pulled back by the memories of how we are. And we say then things to ourselves like, damn it, I started out feeling so inspired this morning, and then you took me out of it. And then we go back and forth because as mothers and daughters, that's kind of what we need to do, bring the other one back to reality.
Or
And
brothers and sisters, or husbands and wives, or best friends.
absolutely, absolutely.
So, Mama,
Yeah.
when what do you do when you catch yourself, because now you're hyper aware of it, and you obviously want to take responsibility for your life and be a creator? How do you change from that state? What do you do to shift that quickly?
Well, because I am aware of it and I know it's such a pattern for me and everyone else in the world, I stop and I say, is this really the way you want to live your life or your day to unfold? Remember how light and powerful and excited you were yesterday when you were in a different circumstance or a different part of the world. You can create that again today. And you just stop yourself and you have a little internal battle for a moment, but you know that you're able to do this. So it's not an easy journey switching into this, nor are we successful all the time or even most of the time. I think that's where the morning practices come in. You know, if you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, sorry, Jennings, I know you've been awake worrying about your to-do list since 1 o'clock, but here I have the benefit of living by myself. And, if I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I meditate and I visualize and I read something empowering and I go out and have a cup of coffee watching the sunrise, that state persists throughout much of the day. Now, how many days in a row can you do that? The biggest creators, the most powerful people in the world, apparently, because I read it online, do that every morning. But you've got all that night work to do, darling.
Well, when I was in yoga class today, I did
Uh-huh.
make it to yoga class this morning.
At what time?
But I
What
was
time was that
thinking
yoga
about
class?
it was at 6:30. So I did get up at
Uh-huh.
5:30. And I actually did sleep really well last night, even though it was a full moon. So I was happy about that. But in yoga class, as a teacher, one of the biggest things that people struggle with in class is having their spot. They want to be in the exact same spot in every single class, and their mat has to be perfect. And if there's a loud breather next to them, it throws them off. If the music's wrong, if the teacher's a bitch, whatever. Their whole thing is ruined. And that's kind of like our life is that, and what we're working towards is that the circumstances do not have to be aligned for you to be in creator mode.
Bingo.
We
God,
want to
I love the
be,
way you said that.
we
Yeah.
want to be in a place where everything can be going wrong. The car can be a homeless factory in there, and it's not going to bring you down because it's not tied to your self-worth.
Exactly. And that is so beautifully expressed. And I was just thinking about myself in the yoga class yesterday afternoon where I had to have everything lined up. I had to be as close to the mirror as possible to, maintain eye contact. And I was aware of everything going on around me. There was this guy who kept getting up saying, I feel nauseous. Well, you know me, I had to put all my attention on, is this guy going to throw up? Why don't you just go out and get cool or something? So, yeah, life is like a yoga class. You're going to have a heavy breather next door, and maybe somebody, in the back of the class is going to throw up. And yet you're in yoga class and you need to, what did you say? Despite the circumstances, you need to be aware that you can change things, that you're the creator of everything.
Yeah,
Despite the circumstances.
we can't be dependent on everything being perfect. There's never going to be a time when everything around us is perfect. As much as I would like it to be, there never is going to be that. And if you can only be happy and only be in creator mode on the perfect days, I'm sorry, you're fucked on the other days. Like,
Yes.
and so what I do, it's a little bit different than what you do. But I kind of look at myself and I say, is that who you are? Did you say that too? Maybe you did say that. Is that who you want to be? Is that who you are? Is that how we do things? And I look at myself being, irritated and bitchy and rushed and panicked and not doing my best job at something. And it's pretty easy to say, ooh, don't want to be there. And when I think about how do I want to respond in this moment? How do I want to be moving forward? It's really easy to come up with, this is who I am. I am powerful. I am a creator. Have the capability to do this. And when I contrast those two, that kind of immediately snaps me out of that victim place.
And that is a perfect example of how our mindset, our identity, our patterns shape the course of our lives. Ooh, I tried it that way yesterday. And all of those boys brought in even more sports equipment. And I've got to clean up all of this crap and, get the car loaded up because I'm a traveling sports coach for all of these little boys who don't obey, right? They're so frustrating.
Yeah, then you
Not
have everybody else,
other parents, right?
coaches, parents, all this stuff. But we're all dealing with so much on a daily basis. But if we can spend less time being in that victim mode and really catching ourselves, taking the responsibility, which is a big, unfortunately, that's the part you don't want to do when you're in the victim mode is you're like, I'm just gonna be pissed off and sick of everybody, and there's some kind of fun about that in a
I'm
way.
just going to smoke another cigarette or have a big shot of Jack Daniels or something because
Yeah,
that's the only way I can get away from this. But, I was just thinking we're talking at a high level about this, but there's even a higher level. And I'm just going to throw this in. We're not going to delve into it, but from many spiritual teachers and traditions, there is the message that there's really nothing else out there. We are creating moment by moment our experience. We'll have to delve into the deeper meanings or higher meanings or whatever. But right now, we're just talking about our day-to-day lives and the things that pull us away from it. So we've each talked about some things that we do to try to rein ourselves in and try to shift our energy. Is there anything that we need to put on our vision board so that we can make it more concrete?
Well, I also, just as you were saying that about the moment to moment creation, I love the analogy of, that you're in your own video game or you're the director of your own movie. And that really, this is all kind of an illusion. And we get to create the characters, we get to create the scenes, role play, I'll do all of this stuff. And it's all kind of lighthearted and fun, and we don't have to take it so seriously.
So I'm just going to make a vow that I will not judge my self-worth on the state of my car. or the way my bedroom looks, or the kitchen, all of these things. Or the fact that I got on the scales and I gained 1.5 pounds from
How
yesterday.
dare you? I can't believe you did that.
Yes, yes, I know.
No, we won't let our circumstances determine our self-worth, but I think practicing this and starting to recognize it, and when you do catch yourself, Mamaji, we have this tendency to beat ourselves up just for even catching ourselves in the place. Instead, we need to celebrate. Yes,
I caught myself. Awesome. I'm going to create a new reality. Another thing that comes to mind that is a reality is that we have a group of relationships that we've created because they fit with some sort of identity. They feel comfortable or safe, or they kind of reflect back to us really how much a mess our lives are, and sometimes we have to shift our relationships, and we have to be aware that other people have their own view and that they're uncomfortable sometimes with change. We either spend less time with those people, take them to an outer ring of the circle, or we just don't care if they say, Mama G, you seem sensitive today. Right?
maybe we're being sensitive. I'm just saying.
Well, great discussion. Really fun to talk to you about this. I hope other people will find it an interesting topic. It seems like we went on and on, but it's super foundational to our lives, to everyone's life. So
let's go be creators.
Love you, sweetheart.
Love you too. Have a great day. Go
You
create.
too. Bye, baby.
Thanks for tuning in for another awesome episode of the Wildly Healthy Podcast. We hope you're feeling inspired to redefine norms and live your best life. If you loved what you heard and want more empowering conversations, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our latest episodes. Don't forget to share this with your favorite mother-daughter duos and encourage them to join our community. We want to hear from you. So drop us a comment below with your takeaways, questions, or simply to share your thoughts. Your feedback keeps us going and helps us create content that truly resonates. Thank you for being part of our tribe, and remember, stay wild, stay healthy, and keep thriving. Until next time.